Honourable Damien O'Connor.
Thank you very much, Mr Chair, and I rise to take a call on part 2 of the bill here, and I refer to clause 35, grounds for approving a product. The authority may approve a psychoactive product as an approved product only if the authority is satisfied that, and there are a number of conditions. And I could not help but think of that in relation to the food bill, Mr Chairman, and I hold before me the food bill, which is quite a substantive document here. And I think, why have we got ourselves into this dilemma? Because when it comes to food, the good stuff that we need every day, to live, to survive, we've got, or the government is about to pass, a bill that is that thick on the conditions pertaining to the production, the sale and the safety of food. And for the most part, the food's ingested. I don't think there's any way of injecting or any other. Most of it's eaten. And so I've gone to the meaning and safety and suitability right at the start of the bill here, and I want to draw the comparisons. Because in some ways this bill is ludicrous. Because what we've got is a substance that you know, people are going to ingest, take, I don't know, they might smoke it, but most of them probably pop the pills, in the same way we eat food. And in the food bill, it has the meaning of safety and suitability. So if it's not safe and it's not suitable in the food bill, you can't sell it. And in the Act, unless the context otherwise requires, safety and suitability in relation to food have the meaning set out in subsections below. It means a condition in which food, in terms of its intended use, or is unlikely to cause or lead to illness or injury to human life or to public health. Includes a condition in which hazards are identified, controlled, managed, eliminated, and misused. Point being, if you sell a banana that is decomposed or got a bit old, that's illegal. But if you sell a substance that's likely to deliver psychoactive results for someone, it's going to be legal. Now, the contradictions astound me. The point is that it's probably a bit late in the process to be pointing out that contradiction there. I appreciate that, and we are supporting the bill. But I think we have to get serious here about, you know, about what we're doing. And those people who are not supporting the bill for whatever reason, some of them because of possible human testing, it's simply ludicrous in my view, Mr Chairman, because we know that we need this kind of legislation to protect people from unsafe food. Then how is it that we need a small piece of legislation to protect them from what are dangerous products? There's no debate about that. And so perhaps as a parliament we should be a bit more consistent, or perhaps the government should be a bit more consistent. The only excuse they have got is that it's taken the food bill a hell of a lot longer to make progress in this House than it has the psychoactive substances bill, Mr Chairman. So I guess that the government is moving on it somewhat slowly. Can I just say, really important that we do get this right. Part 2 here of the bill does specify a whole lot of technical issues relating to products, and I hope that the Minister, maybe he can take a call and give us some assurance on this. In clause 35 B, or in B, it says here, the degree of harm that the product poses to individuals using the product is no more than a low risk of harm. I don't think there's anywhere in the food bill that we've accepted a low risk of harm, and maybe the Minister can come back and clarify that. If there's harm identified, we're simply not allowed to sell food. But if there's harm identified in a psychoactive substance, then it's okay. And while I guess it does in some way relate to alcohol or perhaps caffeine, who knows what might be down the track, the bottom line is that we are currently selling products that are dangerous, that there's no way in the world they would get anywhere near the shelves under the food bill, but you know, we're having to bring in a separate piece of legislation, of course, to deal with it here, Mr Chairman. And so I welcome the legislation, but I think we should refer back to the food bill when we need to, Mr Chairman.
Another call?
Thank you. I won't take the full call, but thank you very much, Mr Chairman. I think we, as a nation, of course, understand that our reputation for food production is one of the most critical things for our future, I guess, but so too should be the management of the social ills and some of the problems within our society. And so while we are making good progress on this, the questions always, of course, come back to why so long, why so reluctant, and perhaps an admission by the government finally that the market wasn't going to address this, and in fact attempts to make one product illegal just resulted in the development of a whole lot of other products, as I say, that would have under the food bill, of course, not be allowed to be sold. And I know there was, I guess, glib reference to the food police, and these would be people who go around stopping people having barbecues and the such like. So if you don't, you know, have your gloves on and go through the proper process, you're not allowed to go, yeah, it was a good barbecue way back then. Can I say that there was this bizarre situation where there was potential for food police, yet we've been allowing this to continue. I know, I'll keep back to part two.
Go to part two.
Part two of the bill, Mr Chair, goes to the product of no more than a low risk of harm able to be sold here. I would say that a sausage on a barbecue is a far lesser risk, yet under the food bill, and I acknowledge the government is actually going to make some changes to allow the barbecue food to proceed, but we would have, without the changes, ended up with a bizarre situation that barbecues were out because there was low risk, but psychoactive substances were in, Mr Speaker. So, Mr Chairman, I just say that it's good that we're making progress. Let's be consistent in this, and let's make sure that the legislation that we do finally pass here does provide the measure of protection that we need. Kia ora.
Stephen Browning.
Mr Chair, I'd just like to take a short call